Hi, I'm Mike Morales. You are watching a special edition of Sipping Off the Cuff. I'm here in San Antonio, and that person over there,
Rick Levy in San Diego.
and Rick, we're going to talk about something that I learned when I first met you. Lisa, Rick is Lisa Peach's brother, and Lisa's our COO. And on one of our trips, we had a chance to. I used to live in San Diego, and we had a chance to visit Rick at his house and his casa, and Rick had a bunch of Riedels, and so we kind of infiltrated his library, and I said, okay, Rick, I'll do your dishes, right? Because I'm used to, at the end of all of our shows, I've got a row full of Riedels, and I have four cats, so I can't leave these overnight because my cats will get on the counter and knock them over. You know how cats are; they just will knock everything over. So
And these things will break like eggs.
yeah, these Riedels, a lot of us have. I've broken two of these, and I've broken them washing them, which
Yeah.
is really odd because normally they'll fall over and tip and break that way. But anyway, I said, okay, I'll do your dishes, and what do you dry them with? Do you have a dish rag? And he hands me this. He hands me a chamois, and I said, the last time I had a chamois is when I used it on my car, and so I said, oh, okay, I'll, because as soon as I got done washing, we had like 8 or 9, Riedels out on the counter. As soon as I was done, they were done draining. I started drying them, and I realized I was looking at this, and I said, this is really a great thing because it's starting to not only is it wiping up the excess water, so doesn't leave water spots because when we look at this glassware, it's a tool. This is a Riedel glass, as you folks who have been following us, that was developed specifically for tequila. So you got to look at the color. You got to be able to swirl it and turn it and breathe in it, and so you can't have any residue, lint, dirt. You want if there's lint or dirt, you want to make sure it's coming from your tequila rather than stuck to your glass. So I asked Rick, I said, where did you get this idea? Because, and I'll even preface that even further because for our show, Last Tequila Standing, we had 3 judges. We had to rent. We couldn't get Riedels because Riedel doesn't sponsor anyone. So we got champagne glasses. Yeah, Riedel's they're very not, they're not user friendly. They're not people friendly. They're just Austrians, who've been making glassware for 250 years. Anyway, we got a bunch we rented glassware from a catering service, and it was all champagne glasses because that was the next best thing. So we noticed that when we got these crates, these machine wash crates of glassware, that a lot of these had spots on them. And the producers, we had like 5 volunteers. The producers went out, got lint-free rags, and we had 5 guys doing, cleaning the inside of the water spots, right? So that we could lay them all out and photograph them, filled with tequila, because we were going to blind taste, 3 of us were going to blind taste, 20 some odd tequilas.
And this
And,
was in LA, right?
right, this was in LA.
And here in Southern California, we have just notoriously hard water because our water's traveling 1,000 miles to get to us. And so it's picking up a lot of minerals along the way.
Yeah, so it is important, if you're going to do this right and you're going to present yourself correctly, then your tools have to be clean. These are our tools. And so anyway, I noticed that even with the lint-free rags that the volunteers were using, they were leaving all kinds of residue on it because they hadn't been washed yet. You have to wash the lint-free rag. So had I known about the chamois, because this was before I met Rick, had I known about the chamois, I would have said, you know what, let's just get a bunch of these, because you could get one chamois and cut it in half and have enough to do several glasses. So where did you get this idea is what I want to ask you. Because I'm telling you, this is a lifesaver if you're a nerd like we are, or you're real serious about showing people about tequila and tequila tasting, and you have several of these glasses. Not only does it wipe up the residue water, but it also polishes the glass and makes your tools look nice and pretty. So where did you find it? Where did you find this secret? This is a secret.
Yeah, it was really it's something I stumbled on actually because we were it's I got these synthetic chamois when we were at a home show. I don't know, 15 years ago or something, and you know, it might have been the ShamWow
The
guy.
ShamWow guy with the
But you know, there
headpiece.
was some kind of barker there with the headset, and you know,
With a
whole
made up
show.
Australian accent or something, right?
And you know, of course, they're pitching these things for everything from you know stripping the grease off a transmission to dessert topping to you know cleaning your car, you know, whatever they
Oh
could
my
think of
God.
to get you to buy it. And so we got they were also pushing them for like you know kitchen uses and
Right.
that saying they could absorb a lot of water and so
Save us on paper towels and things like
yeah,
that. Right?
Kevin's always trying different chamois when he works on the cars. So we got some. And the one he tried, he didn't care for using on the car. He prefers the natural chamois to the
Right.
synthetic.
Right. I do too.
And so they ended up, you know, the ones that, you know, weren't rubbed on the car ended up in with our dish towels in the kitchen. And I think we tried to use them for dish towels, but they weren't absorbing the water as fast as like a cotton cloth does.
Right.
And so we didn't care for it for that. So they were just kind of sitting there in the drawer. But when we travel, we like to pack a bar and bring it with us.
Oh,
And
listen to
so
you.
I had wrapped the bottles in these cloths that I put
Oh.
yeah,
So
out of the
you were using them as like a cushion, like wrapping your bottles in your clothes when you travel from Mexico and
yeah.
back. Okay.
And so then they ended up with the bar materials. And so then when I had the Riedels to clean, you know, I grabbed this and you know, it was fate, I guess. It worked out really well.
Yeah, I was so impressed. Like I said, had I known that you know you could use a chamois when we did the show, because we did like you know racks and racks of champagne glasses, and we had five, like I said, five volunteers, and no matter what they did, you know, you'd always get like a thin layer of lint, even though it was a lint-free dish rag. So you wind up before you filled it with anything, you had to blow the lint off, you know, and thankfully, and if there's not enough static electricity that would make it stick again, you know. And I know you people are probably thinking that we're just way too picky, but it's true. You don't, you know, especially if you're drinking Blanco tequila, you know, you'll notice things. You know, you're going to look at this glass
Yeah.
doesn't have a label, and even if these glasses are branded, they'll brand them a certain way so they don't get in the way of what you're looking at. Because again,
And if you're going to, you know, if you're going to be inspecting your tequila critically, you really need something like this.
Exactly.
I started out, you know, I got these gorgeous hand-blown Mexican snifters. And, you know, but then when I got into doing reviews, you just can't do a proper inspection when, you know, the glass itself is wavy and bubbly.
yeah, it's just not conducive to what, you know, if you're looking for an honest opinion, we want to give the juice as much of a chance to shine. And, you know, that's why, like I said, we've graduated up to many of the times you'll see us using our Glencairn glasses that were really, Glencairn was really nice enough to supply us with these. And the neat thing is, with the chamois, water spots disappear. It doesn't leave any lint. This is a synthetic, though, you know. And I did cut this, so I will warn you that it will occasionally leave, you know, a lint, but it leaves one. It doesn't leave like, you know, a whole film of lint, and you blow it off, and not a big deal. And the more you use these, of course, you can rewash them and things like that. But they polish your glassware, and they look so pretty. Especially if you look behind Rick, that's his tequila cabinet, and upside down you have the racks where you slide the Riedels, and so when you have LED lighting, not only is it a tool, but it becomes very decorative as well. So you don't want your friend or somebody you want to introduce tequila to looking at the water stains on your glassware, right? So really big tip, ladies and gentlemen. This is what do these run at Walmart? They're like $10, cheaper than that, maybe.
I don't know. They're not. They're not going to break your bank.
No, no, and like I
And
said,
they come in these huge sheets too.
yeah,
And so you can get one and cut it into like 4 pieces and put 3 of them away for 5 years.
hoard one.
Because if all you're doing is wiping off a few bits of water after you've washed it, then you're not even going to need to run this through the wash.
Yeah,
you can just let it air dry after.
Yeah, it really is a time saver, a lifesaver, and if you're as serious as we are about our glassware, which if you've been following us this long, you know we're serious about this stuff. We're giving you tips and tricks of the trade, and I learn something from everybody every day. So, don't use it to wash your car. Don't use the one. Separate these. If you're washing your car with one, save it for just washing your car, but save one for drying off your glassware because it really. You'll notice a difference. And Rick, thanks again for that tip. That was very cool about that. And I know that it's these little things that count. But when you're in the middle of a review and you're on camera, the last thing you want is like a hard water stained ring from from last night's tequila or whatever. And you'll see it. You'll see it. I'm sure that if you have any tips or tricks that you want to share with us here at Tequila Aficionado, write them down in the comments down below on our YouTube channel, or if you see this on Facebook or on the website, let us know. I'm Mike Morales with my chamois in San Antonio.
San Diego.
And that's Rick. And again, watch us on Sipping Off the Cuff. And as Alex likes to say, always sip wisely.